coolant.
I also own a farm.
Here we go. You're now watching the 2024 season of Farming with Duffy Ag. Welcome back to the channel. Last night we rolled in here just after 11. Just parked it. Yeah, we need more barnyard, and it needs to stop raining. So today actually looks gorgeous. I think this week we got rain again, but we'll drop the trailer. Truck needs a little bit of service, and just run through, check everything. I want to adjust the PTO cable. There was one other thing on it. I don't know. Oh, that front wheel seal cover. So yeah, we'll do that. There has been quite a few people that say you're always broke down, you need a new truck, this and that. I only show you like, oh, we broke down, we run all day good, and nobody ever says, oh, that was a good day, you ran good. No, that doesn't make any content. So at the end of the day, every truck breaks down, and if you don't believe that, you've never actually been in any of this world. There is trucks that haul manure with us that you see that they're there and then they're not there. They're having an issue, or there's trucks that have motors out of them, rear ends blowing out of them, stuff like that. It is all part of it. I'm just not going to capitalize and show other people's breakdowns and things like that because it is stressful. I'm fine with putting myself out there and showing you guys it, but that's what goes hand in hand. And honestly, well, let me put you guys down. We're going to have a talk. So there has been a ton of people that have reached out to me about manure hauling. A lot of people locally, and they see that I'm out rolling around pulling tanker, and it seems lucrative. It is a challenging business, and me and James talk about it quite a bit. So first off, how it works with farmers, and it's just how it is. Dairy farmers get paid twice a month, usually. So that income that comes in goes to the grain, goes to the inputs that the things that have to be there every day in and out. So manure haulers and custom forage harvesters and stuff like that, when they show up, when they leave, they give a big bill. And honestly, you are not on the top of their list at that moment. I know as far as custom harvesters, I know there's people that their customer calves are hanging out. Norman's become very vocal. There's been times where people have been waiting a year to get paid, and they only get paid because the customer wants them to come back. So you got to think of it like that. And I know there's going to be some people that are not in the industry, or some people that are out in the Midwest and say that's not how that ever works. I'm not lying. I know what I've been paid for stuff and long things. Granted, I am in a good place and I run with a good group of guys, and I'm very lucky that I've never been hung on a bill yet. But I know people, they went out of business or something like that, and they owe the custom harvester 30 grand. So not getting too far into financials and stuff like that, but you got to realize that is how the business goes. So once you get rolling, you're halfway decent, you get checks at some point. But it's not like I leave a job, I write a bill, and I get paid that day. So you have to realize that you're running something that you might not get paid for a while. So it's not a get rich quick scheme. The thing that has saved me, well, I don't know anybody that would say they're not in the ag industry and they say, let's go build a manure tank or buy a manure tank and go haul manure. You need all the pieces, or you need to have some sort of in. The big thing was I set up all this equipment, that whole tank, that's been 4 years. This one's been 2. I was dairy farming. So utilizing it to get what I needed done quicker. That was the big thing. Yeah, and that's a lot of things. James, that's what they do. The other trucks, Moores, and their tankers, they have the drag line set up. So they need all the pieces to make it work out. That's why I'm at the point where if we keep moving manure, pump, frac tank, tractor, stuff like that. There's some of that locally, but it creates a monster where you got to keep moving. And it's easy to say, just go do it and spend $500,000 and you'll make money back. It goes back to, you might be sitting there waiting and you got to have the business go with it. So I am perfectly fine with running one truck and having myself, but the opportunity to do some stuff locally, and I do run with a good group of guys. That is why the second truck is well, I already have it. And I'll be 100% honest. Both of my tanker trailers I set up for $13,000. That doesn't include my time at all, and probably some welding material. But at the end of the day, use some skills and some jerry rigging to build tankers for that price. Tankers now, anywhere from $70,000 to $120,000 for a tanker, and then you need a horse to pull it. And then really you need a Gemini pump to go with that. And then you need this and you need that. And before you know it, it adds up, and it's, you're not starving, you have hay. So I figured I'd give a rundown because there's been a lot of good friends and people like that have asked. But if you're not doing something for yourself as far as farming, it makes very little sense in my eyes to go out and say, I'm going to put a manure tank together. And go find some work, because you got to go find some work. So yes, I drive a distance to run with the guys I'm running with right now, and it works out very well. I like working up there. But we'll do some stuff locally this year. I got some stuff lined up, and it's just tough when you leave consistent work. And me and Zach Newton have a lot of talks about this, and he's built, Zach, we're coming back to hang out with you. He's done some great things since the last video we were there, and he can explain more of how he got to the point where farmers don't manage their manure any longer. For his guys, they might have a little input, but Zach is in charge of, hey, we're doing this with pits and stuff like that. Where's it going? The farmer can say, but Zach doesn't let his farms fill up their pits to overflowing almost, and then call them and say, hey, we need you tomorrow. So I give them a lot of credit, but you need the pumps, you need the tractors, you need the guys, you need all the infrastructure to go with it. So I figured I'd give a rundown on some of that side. Honestly, I own a self-propelled forage harvester. Really not a good investment where I'm at now. When I was dairying, yes, it made a good investment. And I know there's some people that always ask about my previous farm that I was with. They hire everything in now. Corn planting, manure hauling, chopping, all of it's hired in anyways. So at the end of the day, and they're paying a lot more than what I charged. So family discount, but that is part of family. So, and I don't want to talk about family any longer on that side of it, even though people always bring it up, because they burned that bridge and then they tried to come back into my life as soon as they learned some things. So, and I learned some things, and yeah. So that is where we're at as far as why we haul manure. At some point you get paid, and I don't have as much skin in the game as far as financially side of it. So my tanks are paid off, but yes, we got to buy tires for something. So you're looking at $3K for that, and you blow a hydraulic line, you're looking at another $500, and you do this or you do that. So it's not a cash cow, I would say, but it's consistent work because there's always manure somewhere. And yeah, it's shitty work. A lot of people don't want to deal with the manure. Like, I talked to the hazards, we were there yesterday. They do a lot of barn work and a lot of manure work, or a lot of work in shitty situations, because a lot of people don't want to do that. And as Greg says, he goes, I don't care, we'll do it. We pick up a lot of work because of it. So when I worked for De La Valve, when I worked for Handfield, finding somebody that wanted to work those hours and go to work clean, get covered in shit, and still keep working, very challenging nowadays. So, alrighty, there's a rundown of some of what goes on the business side of it, because I know everybody always asks me, but yeah. And do we run any of the nicest stuff? No, nothing we own is nice. It's okay. But we bought that, ran it, fixed it up. That was a $4,000 truck that bought sight unseen, was told it was junk. It's been Old Faithful. Put a $4,000 wet kit on it, which really didn't need to do that, but that truck's set up to just be a farm truck. And that thing's done nothing but, oh, unless I mess it up, it's done nothing but make money. So, yeah, old Macs, but they are rough running. So it takes a man. What's up, boys? We got to clean you up some more. You're looking good, Norman. I know, it got wet. But, alrighty. Little rundown on the financial side of it, because I have had a ton of people ask me on some of it. And about manure hauling and this and that. It's like any other business. It takes a lot of work. When things are good, they're good. It's like any other trucking side of it. When trucking is good, you can make some money. When you eat a motor, you don't make any money. Yeah, especially, yeah. Oh, Kenworth update. The block is still at the machine shop. They should be done this week. Well, this week coming up. And then they're getting it back and it will start reassembling. The clutch actually has a ton of life left in it, so we're leaving the clutch alone. What's the other thing? I was going to paint it maroon, the block, but I think we're going to go with the regular Cummins tan. And yes, we will be going to gear jammers with that, with a couple other A models. That is the plan. I think that's all. And yes, I do ramble, and I don't have ADHD, because somebody always writes that in on every video. I don't think I got ADHD. I think I just got a lot going on in my head. All right, let me feed them, drop that trailer, service that quick, and then I think we got some time. We'll work on the discs. We're just going to do a quick service, run through, grease everything. What else do we have to do? Check oil. We got windshield wipers to put on, which I should have done last night, right here. I think they're the same. Ooh, they might not be. These might be for the white truck. No, because I think the white truck, that Mac, and this Mac all have the same wipers. I think that's why I bought these. We'll have to get some more of them if that's the case. But wipers, check oil, adjust that PTO piece. So I guess we'll do the oil and wipers first, and then we can lay underneath the truck and yeah, get a little dirty. Clean the floor before we came in, but every time you pull a truck in when you're in mud season, you get it dirty again. I believe these are the same wipers. I do see that oil is leaking more, or that, not the oil, injector line, so we gotta mess with that. You get hardware and everything. I don't remember. Nope, they're shorter. Okay, we'll get some wipers ordered. Probably look up the same company. And well, I guess those aren't gonna help us. So they gotta be for the white truck. Yeah. We'll get some coming. They work. They just don't have full coverage. It's raining. It's raining again, bud. Went to tighten the alternator up and... well... interesting. Very interesting, actually. Okay. I think the parts truck has one. We'll go find out. That is why the hood's still not on it. Honestly, the engine should get pulled and the rest should just get scrapped. Well, engine and trans. Probably should keep the rears for the day when we blow something up. Oh yeah, it's got one. So we will yes, and that one should get rebuilt and us utilize it, that alternator itself. Okay. Easy enough. Otherwise we were going to weld that, which that probably wouldn't work out very well either. So the alternator, or the belts made a few squealing at higher acceleration rates, and well, now you guys are covered in water, but you get it. Truck's broke. Nothing works right. Can't believe it. Oh, I love it. Yeah, a little pre-trip inspection for you guys and service. I don't believe these are the same ones. I think that other one's got more of a bend, but oh, that's been cracked a while. You can see right on it. That one right there. Just didn't see it. I believe this one's got more of a bend to it because the alternators are different. I believe. I don't know, it's got more of a throw to it though. We do got to shave this down just a little bit because it touches on it. And when we got this alternator, I knew that was a problem. And I said, someday when we're back, we'll do it. So here we are doing it. Ow. Got my finger too. That should give us what we need. Maybe. Where does that go? There it goes. Oh yeah, there we go. That might be a little excessive for it. We're gonna switch that out. I guess not once it's in there. Snugged up some, get it tight. There we go. Tri-bar action on the back side to get the belts tight. Bingo. Ended up pulling that fuel line off. It had a little, it was crooked going in. So all that dampness around right in there, I don't know if you guys can see much here. That's all from that fuel line just leaking a little bit. You know, losing horsepower. So it's an ejection line, which, yeah, I thought we fixed up last time, but I actually got it off this time. I cannot say enough about the ratcheting icon set of wrenches. Both, we got that at a discount because we're missing 14, but both metric and American. Under the hood should be good. Just lubricated the cable up here some, and the whole reason we got a cable instead of an air shift when we put this together, it was COVID time and they did not have any air shifts for this PTO. So yeah, we went that way. When we put this Mac PTO on, which is on our list of things to do for this, so we can field spread, that is air operated, and it is what it is. So we'll climb underneath here. I'll show you what goes on. So that Max PTO is gonna bolt right here and come off. I'm hoping we don't actually have to change anything else. Might have a different angle of the shaft, but I'm hoping. So what we got going on here is this has moved a little bit, or the cable's stretched a little bit over time. And yes, there's some oil in some spots. We got to do some things with the transmission, but for right now, it is doing its thing. So what I'm gonna do, actually it's up right now. We can adjust this. So if we back that off, that holds it on, and then you can move this cable. So it's at the very end where it makes it challenging to engage it. And we're gonna have to get that section of exhaust, because right here it's got some holes in it. Hopefully it keeps it together for a little bit longer. But loosen that up. There we go. That should allow it where it's not at the far end. You gotta think we have run this quite a bit, so. Things move around. Oh yeah. Good to go. Greased, and then I remembered. Well, let me grab my rolling chair here. Still got the turbo sitting here. Maybe I'll send it to one of you lucky people in a package. I'm just kidding. I'm not sending that. Thing's heavy. So this wheel seal cap is leaking, and honestly, it's a new one. Like, this thing is 2 years old or less. So I have a spare, but I think it's just the cap leaking out. I want to see where the oil level is. Lay down. Oil level's right here. I might leave it alone. Yeah. Because I think it's good enough. Maybe it was a little over full and it started leaking out of that center hole. So I'll show you on this other one exactly what it is. Where did I put it? Right here. Yeah, and I got a spare. We're getting better at having spares and stuff. Yeah, I think it was just a little, it must have been leaking out of the middle. So I don't know if you guys can see in there, but there's a little pinhole dimple that comes out right there. That way it does have a breather. We're good on the oil level. See, it's got an oil level. I don't know if you guys can see nothing on that. It says oil level right there. Alrighty, I'm gonna put this back on the shelf. I was a little nervous. That might have been a little overfilled. And as we've been running much more aggressive, and I know there's streaks. I'm gonna have to get a new GoPro lens. Because no matter how much we clean it, it still has some streaks. So I'm gonna put this right back here. We got the front wheel seals for it. We got rear wheel seals for it. We got belts for it. What is this belt for? Must be the same thing. Like, we're stocked up on some of our supplies, especially for this upper air filter, lower air filter, which is the same on the silage trucks. So, getting better. I was gonna wash it today. Not a chance in the rain. We're just gonna drive down the road 10 feet and it's gonna be wet again and covered in. So, we're gonna close the hood, get it backed out. I gotta move a bale for the calves because I think they're gonna be out, and then I'll get my stuff packed and we'll go do the same thing we did last night, pretty much same route. One of the afternoons after manure hauling, we gotta fence this actually in, let the calves start grazing on it so they can stay ahead on some of it.
So they will be glad to get out here and mess around. And then once they're out, once they get it grazed right down, we can figure out what exactly we are going to be doing for a lot of things. Larry was just here. We were talking about what we're going to do with this. So as you see, this concrete wall is going to fall in one day. It's only a matter of time. Hey, Yanko. That's yours. Only a matter of time it's going to fall in. There's no structure here. So it is separating away. And what we figured was from snow getting pushed against it over the years, it just made it die. But it always comes up, why don't you save it? Why don't you do something? In here gets so moist from how wet it is down here that it just ruins stuff. Previous farmer told me that they had motors, or they had a tractor in here for 6 months, and as you see, the ceiling's all moldy and everything else like that from the moisture in here. It just never gets out. And what they said was the motor locked up from sitting in here. So we do not need that type of moisture. Yeah, there's some pieces that are okay, but this whole wall, you can just see I don't know if you can, hold on. You can just see it's absolutely falling over. Granted, there's some concrete here, which would allow us a pad to park. We'd have to build this wall back up with some mafia blocks and whatnot, which is on our list for this year for other places. But yeah, it would be great storage. It's got a tall ceiling and stuff like that if it was halfway decent, but after knowing previous issues of in here, I don't want to park nothing in here. So this was their shop at one point, and obviously they moved from here up to there because of the issues that happened down here. And that wall's saying goodbye, most of it. And there is a drain right there, which is kind of wild. I just noticed that. This is the longest I've actually stood in here because I'm afraid one day I'm going to come in here and do something and it's going to fall over on me. Like that wall, it's separated. I don't know if you can see it better from the outside. Straight, straight, straight. Not so straight. That's buckled a lot more too lately. So, well, honestly, our end goal is to have a roadway come down through here and then up through, and we can use this as parking, and that will allow trucks to come down and turn around and be able to go back out without having to back up and do everything else. That's kind of my end goal. How's our tile looking over here? It's running. So there's one running, the other one running over there. If we do get a big machine in here, I'm going to do a lot of digging, and we're going to dig back and figure out that one. But tile's doing its thing. There's another tile somewhere down there too. So, alrighty, things are getting green. I just came down here to think about what I was doing and stand in the rain for a few more minutes, but the grass is actually picking up pretty aggressively. We'll just grab a bale, shove that in the barn. There's a bag of trash that blew over there. We'll grab that when we're done. Oh, combine, I know. One day you're going to be undercover. One day. God, it's wet. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 bales left. Either 6 or 7. Forget if I got a top one in the back there. Honestly, I'm hoping this is the last bale we got to feed to them. I'm hoping that once they're done with this, we can get them on pasture without wrecking it, roughing it up. And they absolutely thrive on pasture because I have so much of it. Well, that whole big bale worked out pretty good. Since they got quite a bit of bedding still that's clean and whatnot, we'll cover up some of the bigger spots. And yeah, they've been pretty comfortable in here. Yeah, it's worked out. What's up, guys? I'm gonna give you the rest of the bale that's here, then I'm gonna put that bale in, so you're good for a few days, right? I'm gonna clean this spot right there, and this week, if it doesn't rain every day, we'll spread that out. Okay, good talk.
Tip it on its side so when you cut the strings, they all just fall right off. Makes life easy to pull it around. Then we'll back drag some so that they got a nice clean area to stand. Norman, don't you dare go in that doorway. So I guess his mother has a lot of personality too. Kind of that herd that it came from. Of course, it kind of becomes a nice day when it's ready to leave, but Yanko's ready to go. Right, bud?
Coolant. Oh.
I just blew the radiator.
Yep, we blew out a hole. Oh my God. Catch pan didn't really work out well. Alrighty, here's where we are at with this. I got it all cleaned up. Bob and Karen, Isaiah's parents, brought me some stuff, but you can see the hole right there. So I opened up a little bit just so I could see it. We're gonna pinch it shut. And I had some brazing rod. That's not, it's too thick to get it warm enough to get it connected. So I'm gonna clean it up some more. Robert's actually, thought he was almost here. He's grabbing me. We're gonna go Tractor Supply quick, grab some supplies, and yeah. Eventually we're gonna have to get a new core for this because I have a feeling this is gonna keep happening. But hopefully that was the weakest link and we can make it a little while. Yeah. Honestly, I bought this. Well, we bought the parts truck for parts, and the radiator was a big piece, but the whole castings on the top and bottom, those were the biggest pieces. We could probably find somebody to recore this whole, well, the actual radiator part, but that does mean the truck will be down. So hopefully we can keep pushing it through. If I had everything, which I haven't had to solder anything in a long, long time, hopefully we'd be in a better spot. But we'll see if we can get it fixed up and be okay to run tomorrow. Robert picked me up. We actually got coolant Taco Bell. Well, we're about out of Taco Bell. And I got what I needed. So I have that. It's a tough angle to actually show you guys anything. So I soldered that back together. It is pretty much crushed, that tube, which is fine. I might take the radiator cap off of the silage truck. I know it is a lower PSI than what was on it. They only run like not even, I think that one's 13. It might be less than that. So just frustrating. I'm gonna let that cool down. It's soldered actually really, really well once I got the right stuff. Oh, look, made in Mexico. 4060. I got 2 different varieties of stuff to go with it to see. This one was more expensive with less on it. 4060 tin lead solder. Yeah, we're gonna have to core this radiator sooner than later, but I'm just trying to get to a much better spot, and we're not there yet. Nothing Taco Bell can't solve. Ingo keeps getting up like he's gonna get a piece. There's a piece right there. Nothing Taco Bell can't solve, right? At the moment. Tomorrow's. Oh, I just ate coolant. Here, bud. That's yours. Pretty good. Yeah, we're both gonna regret that tomorrow. But it was quick and easy, and getting parts off that parts truck, looking back, it worked out. What I have into that parts truck against the hood and the radiator itself, never mind anything else, I think I'm okay. But at the end of the day, you don't know, because that radiator is 40-something years old. That's where the coolant is. It's on this. It is what it is. We've gone this far. Honestly, this truck's made all its money back, but still, it's frustrating because here we are wrenching on it and makeshifting it to get it through, but we lost 1 coil out of, I bet there's 100 coils. I pinched that coil right down, so I don't see much flow going through it. And I hope that's the only leak. I'm a little nervous that there's one in between, because there's 2, well, 1 on each outside, and then I think there's 2 in the middle. If one, at least 1, not if not 2. And it's raining again. Got it soldered up. I'm giving this about a 10%. 10% shot that this actually works. A little stressed. I know Zach told me you put the egg in it, and if the egg doesn't work, then you put pepper. Never heard the pepper thing. I can't believe how much it blew apart, which kind of amazes me. But at the end of the day, I'm dealing with old junk, remember? Only time will tell. We're gonna find out. Okay, both these radiator caps, the original one and this one, they're both 10s, which makes sense. They're the same. I think the one on the silage truck is lower. I'm gonna investigate and we're gonna find out. What is it? Oh, that's a 13. Never mind. We're gonna stick with the 10s. 13 right in the middle. It's running. There's some drips, but there's a lot of coolant in between, so I'm hoping it's all the coolant that is stuck in the radiator that was down below, and it's pulling it through and it's dripping down. I guess time will tell. Somebody did point out that I don't have anything ready for the garden yet. I agree, we gotta put some tomatoes in pots. But at the end of the day, we're a little ways away from that.
halfway decent.
We're up at 170. That's about where it runs.